Are you ready for the best Kansas City Chiefs podcast? Welcome to the Chiefs Blitz podcast, brought to you by ChiefsBlitz.com, your top source for Chiefs news. Our podcast is produced by Bowtie Sports and hosted by Nick Athan, Lou Montagna, Andre Tillman, Hense, Todd, and special contributor, Fox sports reporter and anchor, Harold Kuntz. Please like and subscribe to our show. Now let's talk Kansas City Chiefs football.
All right, welcome to the next edition of the Chiefs Blitz podcast. I'm your host, Nick Athan, with Mr. Hense Todd, Mr. Lou Montagna, and from Fox 4, Harold Kuntz. Football. It's the official start of the off season. The Super Bowl is over. We'll talk about that game here in a little bit. But before we get started, let's talk about our sponsor, Underdog Fantasy. If you're looking to play one of the best games out there, hopefully you won some money yesterday playing that Super Bowl. A lot of weird bets out there, but hopefully you cashed in. You can play 5, get up to $100 in bonus dollars. Just make sure you put in the promo code Chiefs Blitz. College basketball, NHL, NBA, it's all there available for you until we start football in the preseason games begin in August. So you got 6 months? 6 months. Wow, 7 months. Anyway, it's way too long. Football should be a year-round sport. They should be playing games every week as far as I'm concerned. But hey, it is what it is.
Sure is.
Go ahead, Nick. I thought y'all was going to talk about it.
Oh, no. So, hey, I got to talk about my beloved Jayhawks. Big game tonight against number 1 ranked Arizona Cardinals in Allen Fieldhouse. Harold, you're going to be there?
Actually, no. Rob's going to be there. I've been at the last couple, so I got this one off. I mean, I wish I could actually just go to this one, but I will be watching this one from the privacy of my own house. It's gonna be great.
Disrespecting the University of Arizona.
No, there's no disrespecting the University of Arizona.
It's the Wildcats.
The University of Arizona is the Seattle Seahawks of the college basketball season right now.
That's for sure. Undefeated. Number 1 versus number 9 ESPN game tonight. So for us beloved Jayhawk fans, I don't think the Jayhawks. They've really got me through the last 4 weeks. They played a lot better. They won 5-6 in a row. Big contest tonight. Kind of made me forget about the fact that Chiefs are in the Super Bowl. But hey, the Super Bowl is over. Seattle Seahawks take a pounding to the New England Patriots in pretty convincing fashion, really putting the game away in the fourth quarter. Offense, defense, special teams, they were terrific. And the New England Patriots, they now have the most losses in Super Bowl history. Oh, I didn't see that one coming today.
Yeah.
Poor Drake May. He got a baptism in the NFL facing a really, really good team. And he'll learn from this. They'll be back someday. Next year, I think the balance of power will probably be something called restore to order with the Chiefs. Ravens.
That's what Dan Marino thought, Nick.
What's that?
That's what Dan Marino thought. He'd be back too. Second year quarterback.
I'm not saying Drake May's ever going to go back to another Super Bowl.
Yeah.
I'm not.
But no, I mean, it's crazy that they've played in 12 of them, right? I mean, 12
nuts.
out of 60. They're 6-6 now. I don't know that really matters, but also that their offensive coordinator, McDaniel's, been in 11 of them.
Yeah,
which is insane. I mean,
that's crazy. Best offensive coordinator in the NFL. But again, big loss by the Patriots. Mike Vrabel had a terrific season. They added 31 players to their roster. They changed the culture. Now they got a really brutal schedule next year, and they're going to have to get over the hump of being the number 1 seed and the number 1 target or the number 1 in the AFC East. So it'll be fun to watch what happens next year.
They come to Kansas City, don't they?
Yep.
The Patriots do come to Kansas City. Yeah,
they do. Yeah. So
Chiefs don't have an easy third place schedule either, Harold, do they? It's pretty brutal.
Well, it wasn't the third place schedule that's brutal. It's the NFC West that's brutal.
Yeah.
That's what not. They got to go to Seattle.
Yep.
And they got to go to the Rams.
Yep.
And then obviously San Francisco and Arizona come here. So
who they play? They play the AFC, the full AFC East, then, correct?
Yeah. So they got New England here.
So got to go to Buffalo.
The Jets are
probably
here. They got to go to Buffalo for their new stadium, and then they got to go to Miami.
Yeah. So the big question is opening day. Is it either going to be at Buffalo or is it going to be at Seattle for the the big kickoff game.
Well, I doubt it would be either, because I'm pretty sure the TV executives want to make sure Patrick Mahomes is 100% by not week 4 or 5. So
right.
They don't want to put him week 1, so I would not be surprised if they get like a ho-hum.
Don't they play Dallas?
Do we get noon games? So do we get noon games for a month?
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if they get like a ho-hum noon game against Arizona to start it off. Wouldn't be surprised because they want them to win. I mean,
sure they do. They're counting on the Chiefs.
Yeah,
I don't know what the ratings were overnight, but I can't imagine they were all that great.
Yeah, they probably didn't retain much of the audience after the halftime show.
Yeah.
Well, stop me when you've heard this before. 5-6 minutes into the game, you kind of knew which way it was going.
Yep.
One team could not protect their quarterback, and said team that was going to lose scored some garbage points at the end.
Yeah.
Sound familiar?
Yeah.
Yeah, it sound like the Super Bowl from when the Chiefs and the Eagles.
Right. So I guess that's where I was going, was where, I mean, is this an NFC starting to kind of get their legs back? You got all the young quarterbacks in the AFC, but their teams are kind of crap in the bed. And the NFC's building these like powerhouse defenses.
Yeah.
And the NFC West, you can just say you got 3 teams that are going to be right there again next year. You got to believe Detroit's going to be back to some semblance of themselves. The Bears should be better. Washington should be back. The Eagles probably aren't going anywhere. So, I mean, is the NFC kind of taking charge of this thing for the next few years?
Go ahead, Harold.
I wouldn't say take a charge per se, but they do have the better depth. I mean, we're seeing it right now in the AFC. I mean, with the Chiefs, we're just going to go by what you were last season. With that drop off, you're looking at teams of Denver, New England, and Houston, and I'm sorry, it's escaping me. Not Baltimore. Somebody from the NFC North right now. that division was not good last year.
Well, the Steelers, that was kind of fake, I think. I mean, as far as how far they got.
Like the Steelers are dropping off. We know the Cleveland Browns have dropped off. They've always dropped off. The Bengals are there. And then the Ravens, they don't know what they're doing with Lamar right now. And they've got a new coach. The NFC East, I mean, you're looking at Buffalo potentially, but I mean, we don't know. They have a new coach. We don't know how that Joe Brady thing is going to work. It could be they just needed a different leader in the room. Could be. Or it could be the same thing. And I think Buffalo's problem is something they just don't want to admit. It's Josh Allen. They have a Josh Allen problem.
Yeah.
Not a coaching problem. So,
yeah.
And the Ravens look at the AFC West.
Hold on.
And you look at the AFC West. I mean, let's not overlook what the Patriots.
That may be nuanced and kind of subtle, but maybe explain that a bit for where you're going with. I mean, arguably the best player in the NFL, but they have a Josh Allen problem. So what is the problem with Josh Allen?
He doesn't produce in the playoffs. That's the problem.
Yeah.
You can be an MVP all you want during the regular season, but if you go out in the playoffs and you're throwing 5 turnovers,
that's think you would say that this year, right? That game against
Denver. I've said that from the beginning.
But I think if you go back and you see, I mean, he's put up relatively strong numbers throughout all those games. Now, can't get past Patrick. I mean, that's a problem. That I think that would probably be it. But again, I think it's more of a team thing. I'm not saying that he's completely without blame. I mean, certainly that Denver game, he kind of gave it away. They should have won that. The team played well enough. He kind of gave it away. But I think overall, I think he's kind of gets them to that point at very least.
Well, he gets them to the playoffs. He's a good enough quarterback to get you to the playoffs. The problem with him is we've seen it over and over in the postseason. He makes the mistake at the just most opportune time for the other team to come out and win. And he's done it over and over again. And we have a large enough sample size of what Josh Allen's done by now that we know what he's going to do. And until he goes out there and proves it, I not in right mind could have any real confidence in him doing that. Now, I will say this about the AFC East. As much as I think Buffalo's going to be a problem next year with New England, New England got a great learning experience. And I think they're way ahead of where they should be. They just took advantage of playing Houston, CJ Stroud, who was awful, and they took advantage of being up before a blizzard came in Denver with Jarrett Stidham. That's what they took advantage of. So, of course, they're going to make the Super Bowl. But let's look at it this way. I'm looking at the AFC West, and I'm looking at if the Chargers can actually stay healthy on the offensive line, they've got a real shot. We know Denver's got a shot as long as Bo Nix is healthy. And we know the Chiefs are going to restore some semblance of restoration coming up next season. And then I would not overlook the Raiders. I would not overlook the Raiders. I know that sounds crazy, but they have one thing. They have one thing they need to identify, and that is the offensive and defensive lines. They know what they need, and they'll have the quarterback. I think they've got a great coach in Kubiak, so they'll have some stuff. They'll have some stuff, and I use that only because we look at the Patriots and their turnaround under a new coach, and what that did. I think this can be something similar with the Raiders. So I'm not saying they're playoff ready, but I can see them being a 7-10, 8-9 that does pull off a couple wins.
Yeah, I think we heard that a lot at the beginning of this year too, because they had Pete Carroll as a coach. I mean, your best player reportedly is asking out. You're going to rely on a rookie quarterback. I mean, I don't see that turning anytime soon. I mean, the difference I think with the Patriots was they spent their salary cap money wisely in free agency. Just about every free agent they brought in hit. The odds of that happening are slim and none. So I don't know. They may have some misses this year, the Patriots. The Raiders, I don't know. I can't really point to one in the last few years to say that was a really good move. So I would pump the brakes a little bit on the Raiders, but the Chargers are going to be interesting because
I'm only going to say that, Lou, just because they do have a new coach who knows what he's doing.
Yeah. Well, and again, we'll see. Yeah. I mean, he has been, let go at a couple different places. So, I mean, I think he did an excellent job with Sam Darnold, excellent job with that offense. We'll see once he's in charge of like an insane asylum, how that plays out. And maybe he can get his guys to score some points. But again, you really have to wait to see that. The Chargers are the interesting one to me because we'll see how much leeway is McDaniel going to have with that offense. Because you saw what it was with Greg Roman. They were going to ground and pound or whatever. Now all of a sudden, are they going to kind of flip? Now again, McDaniel, he was under Kyle Shanahan, so he does want to run the ball.
Yes,
but it's going to look a little different. It's going to look a little different. Herbert may get a little easier access on some plays. He made Tua look like an all-pro nearly. So that's the one that kind of concerns me. Now, again, they lost Jesse Minter, so we'll see what happens with their defense. But that's an interesting one with the Chargers.
Regarding the question you asked earlier about the NFC, I think from looking at the past Super Bowls, I think they have taken over. The Seahawks did just what the Eagles did to the Kansas City Chiefs when they came in there, and it looked like a repeat of what happened last year in the Super Bowl.
They scored touchdowns and Seattle kicked field goals. That's really the only difference.
Other than that, man, it looked terrible, for the AFC to lose back-to-back. The AFC, to lose back-to-back Super Bowls and
not just lose. It was embarrassing.
Embarrassing on both games. And back to what y'all was saying about Sam Darnold as well. Looking at this, be the first one out of that draft.
That's crazy.
To get a Super Bowl. You thought Lamar Jackson been MVP, Josh Allen been MVP, sure. Baker Mayfield turning his career around, and Tampa Bay that these guys will probably be the first ones in the Super Bowl. But Sam Darnold, Sam come from the Jets, go over to I think it was with the 49ers before, and then with the
Panthers.
The Panthers and with the
Jets, Panthers, Vikings, Niners, Vikings.
I think if he stayed with the Vikings, he probably could have got this done with the Vikings. Maybe. With the core they had over there. But last night team shows that hey, you got to have you got to be hitting on all cylinders, and that's what.
The thing about Seattle last night is they just need a warm body at quarterback. The rest took care of itself.
Yeah.
I mean, they won that game with their defensive line. Like you can show these Baker Mayfield, Josh Allen, Lamar, like you show all that. They won that game with their defensive line. Straight up. Their defensive line embarrassed New England's offensive line. Right. And it was clear from the beginning how bad it was going to be. And it ended up being worse and worse as the game progressed. So, and you mentioned the embarrassment for the AFC in last year's playoff. Well, the NFC had the better defensive line in that game too. And that's why, Hense, since I know you're going to mention it, sometimes
I think we lost him. I know he's going to say Jeremiyah Love. I know he's going to mention
run.
Well, you got to give Howie the credit to basically these guys go out and get like 5 or 6 demons that can rush the passer, play the run, the whole thing. And Schneider, I mean, rarely does the GM survive kind of like these coaching changes. He did. Not only did he do that, he built the Legion of Boom. Then he comes back, tears it down. They still weren't horrible. They made the playoffs with Geno Smith of all people. And then Geno, they wanted Geno back. Geno like ass out. So he caught a break there.
He caught a huge break.
Bring Sam in. But if you look at that most of that defense is homegrown. I mean, they brought in some guys. I mean, Jaron Reed was with Seattle originally. I mean, he's had a cup of coffee in Kansas City. I don't know. He was one of those guys that never got on the field. It seemed like they signed him. Then he really didn't play that much. But like Leonard Williams, I think either was a trade or free agency. But again, they've got some guys now that, JSN, Witherspoon, they're eligible for extension. So we'll see how this all shakes out.
Both teams have a lot.
But I guess the bottom line is where Hense was going. I think where I was going was this, where with the NFC, it seems like the AFC kind of their cycle of getting all the like better young talented quarterback versus getting a stronger defenses. And it seems like it's turning a little bit. Now they've got their young guys too. I mean, Caleb, we'll see what happens with him, and Jaden Daniels, if he kind of comes back strong. But it was just one of those things. You see it 2 years in a row and it's like, which one of these AFC teams, I mean, we were talking about it just a few minutes ago, is going to kind of stand up and say, hey, we can play the bully ball against these guys too.
Well, it's interesting. I think I saw this earlier, and someone will correct me if I'm mistaken, but, the only Super Bowl winners since 2019-20 is in the AFC is Kansas City. And, I hope that this gap, whatever this is, the fact that they missed the Super Bowl this year, missed the playoffs, that people appreciate what this team has accomplished and how motivated and focused they're going to need to be to get back to that level. But I think if we just take a look back and say, we've been very fortunate, we've been very lucky, we've been very good. Now things are going to be a little bit different. So we're going to have to see how it evolves. Like some coaching changes, there's going to be some roster changes, but I think I had a lot of people contact me last night and tweet and send me text messages. Man, don't you think the NFL really wanted the Chiefs to be in this Super Bowl? And that's exactly what the league wants. So they're still the creme de la creme. But the NFC,
not this version.
They've turned the corner, and their games are good. They're more competitive. There's a longer list of teams that are good. And again, they all have the same theme: defense, quality quarterbacks, above average quarterbacks that know how to run the system, that are there for the head coaches. That's big. In the AFC, I don't think you got as many good fits at the quarterback and the head coach position as you do right now in the NFC, as we've seen by all these good quarterbacks. I'm excluding Kansas City for the moment. Baltimore's going to be different. The Bengals are going to be different. Who knows? Aaron Rodgers is probably going to go back to Pittsburgh one more year. So we just don't really know. We don't know what we got in Jacksonville. But I think the bottom line is to take a breath and just appreciate the fact that since 2019, the Chiefs have absolutely dominated the NFL.
Yeah, I think Houston's probably the closest thing to like these NFC teams that seem to be like the last two that have kind of like dominated the Super Bowl, because they have that chance. They got a bunch of dogs in the back end. The front end, they got the 2 really good edge rushers. Now, maybe they don't have the depth along the defensive line that, say, like the Eagles and the Seahawks seem to have right now, but that's about as close as you can get, right? As far as Houston's concerned. Denver, again, it remains to be seen. It was just such a weird game, and then to have your backup quarterback in that championship game, the weather. So it's hard to really say where they're at right now, but I think they're certainly on the climb. So I think those are probably the 2 teams that have the best chance of getting to a Super Bowl in the AFC right now.
Right.
Yeah. So let's get to the next question. There's a lot of scrutiny or from the halftime show. What do you guys think? What was the go ahead and read the question, Luke. Go ahead.
All right. So did Bad Bunny's Super Bowl 60 show join the ranks of Prince, MJ, and Beyonce, or did it miss the mark?
Yeah, I think it missed the mark. I listen. I like Latin music. I really enjoyed it. I always have. I don't know. I mean, it was all in Spanish, so we really couldn't. I can barely speak English. I certainly didn't understand anything that was being said in Spanish. And I think that the league decided to try something different, and I'm not sure it works. Nothing's going to rank like Prince. I mean, I'm sorry. There's just nothing that's going to rank like Prince. And there's a lot of controversy about this.
It sort of ages us a little bit too. I mean, if you ask somebody like in their 20s about Prince, Michael Jackson, and so they were like, I don't know. I mean, I've seen video clips of it or whatever.
Just answering the man's question.
I mean, or did it miss the mark? So it's really 2 questions in one. It's hard to join the ranks of like 3 of the all-time greatest, right? Did it miss the mark? I don't think it missed the mark, right? I think the NFL's mark was, we're trying to make this an international game. This dude is like an international star. And to me, I think it was a dude kind of telling a story. It was a great show. I mean, it was almost like a Broadway production to me. I don't understand that much Spanish. I mean, I understand Italian, and it's it is kind of, it's close. I mean, they're both Latin based and they're Romance language, whatever. So I understand a little bit, but the music is still the music, right? So you either like it or you don't. So I mean, it's a complex thing as far as, did it miss the mark? If you don't like it, you don't like that. Of course, you're going to say it misses the mark. It misses my mark. But just from an objective standpoint, I think it hit all those marks. That the NFL wanted somebody international. He told an amazing story, right? And I guess if you go back and watch it, it actually does depict a lot of things. I mean, if you really dig into it, but the music is the music. And I thought it was just a guy celebrating his heritage, his culture, and he was having a great time doing it. And he incorporated a football, man. How was the spike?
Did you notice the age of that football? It was an old.
Probably played with
version.
it as a kid.
Yeah, I think it was something personal for him, because that was an '80s football.
The whole thing was personal for him.
Yeah.
I watched it, and I was looking at it for talent wise or things like that. I could have hoped that he brought on some like English, some English speaking Latinos.
Lady
or stuff
Gaga
like
sang in English.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not talking about like J-Lo or Fat Joe or somebody of those cultures, or somebody that's could have brought in the American side of you, mix both. But he can't never. I think Prince go down as the best halftime performance ever done. I know some people probably gonna say MJ or this that one, but looking at the halftime show, Dan, knowing that Fia is coming over here as well for the World Cup, I'm thinking that's why the NFL went that route, and smoothed it over to the World Cup as well. So,
what do you think, Harold?
What you think, Harold?
What's your take?
I'm just listening to you guys, and I'm like, okay, So this was strictly a business thing.
Yeah.
They have 9 international games next season.
Yeah.
Spanish in its native tongue is more popular for people who speak Spanish in its native tongue than English is. English is the most popular language in the world, but for native tongue, it's Spanish because a lot of people learn English as a second language.
Mm-hmm.
So why do the generic route when you have somebody who, by the way, is from Puerto Rico, which last I checked was a territory of the United States of America, along with Guam and Northern Mariana Islands and U.S. Virgin Islands. Let him do it in his native tongue. And I think he had a shout out at the end with all the flags. We're all America, because if we remember correctly, the United States of America is called the United States of America. It's not called America. America is North America and South America combined. That's why he had all the flags out there. So I thought it was lovely. The choreography was fantastic. I mean, you can't argue that. The photography was great. You could tell it was well directed. Again, I'm like most
Ricky Dan Martin.
Yeah, I'm like most
Jessica Biel out there too. I mean,
I'm like most people. I didn't understand 80-85% of what he was saying, but I can also say that for 20 minutes of my life, I was entertained, and that's all that really mattered to me. And if you weren't entertained, you can go up and get some food. If you were entertained, you can stay there and dance. If you didn't care either way, you can talk to somebody at your left or right at the Super Bowl party, or you can read a book, or you can play on your phone. Like
I think
this is 2026. There's plenty of options out there. What you want to do, but for me, I thought it was entertaining. Again, I'm like most people, didn't understand most of what he was saying, but I understand the business side of it from the NFL. They've got 9 international games. This is the type of audience they're trying to attract. And Roger Goodell, being the businessman that he is, he knows he's tapped out on the English-speaking audience.
You've got an international audience.
Well, they tapped out. They just completely. If he wants more money, he's got to go internationally. There's no reason that the NBA has a bigger global market than the NFL does, even though the NBA here is clearly a second league compared to the NFL.
Well,
that's because he knows the money's out there.
I think that has to do with just the game is played more in every other country.
Yeah,
basketball.
Exactly.
I mean, so
exactly.
that's what
he's got to get that. He's got to get that going to.
I think that's why there's so much behind flag football, because more people can participate. And if they like flag football, they're going to watch the NFL. But I think in a lot of cases, these halftime shows, I think a lot of people that don't like them sometimes just decide even before it starts that I'm not going to like this.
Yeah, that's stupid.
I don't know. Somebody had, I think they had a draft sitting in their phone just waiting. I got this trash meme like 2 seconds after it started. I'm not going to say who sent it to me, but it's like, I'm like,
you can help me.
It wasn't Batman. It was Robin. That's all.
This guy's got the quickest fingers in the world, or his stream is much faster than mine. But no, I'm just kidding with you, Hense. But no, in most cases, if you look at social media like Facebook or whatever, even before it starts, there's people just pitchforks and knives.
Well, that was your first mistake, Lou. Looking at Facebook.
Well, I didn't, but I'm just saying. For example, if you even on Twitter, I'm sure you find it there and any other.
And that was your second mistake, looking at Twitter. But continue.
Yeah. Well, this is the world we live in, Harold. We're not like you. We're not attached to Fox and get all the.
I'm not attached to. I'm not even owned by Fox. Get your facts right, man. I'm not even owned by Fox.
There you go.
The Fox
Anything else you got,
man.
All right, so who do you work for, Harold? Come on.
It's actually a company called Next Star, but yeah.
He's a tech
Star, yeah.
Oh my god. I mean, listen, the NFL,
another major conglomerate in the United States.
I mean, I guess for me, this poses the question. Rogers has kind of talked about this a little bit, but if they're really trying to make it a global sport, when does the Super Bowl get played outside the United States? Because I think it's ultimately inevitable at some point.
I think I would like that.
I mean, if the UAE says,
"Hey, I would like it,"
we'll give NFL owners $100 million each to bring the game overseas.
I think London would probably be. I mean, it sounds cliche, but they were like the first ones to embrace it. Right. They've got the state. I mean, the perfect stadiums, whether it's Wembley or Tottenham Hotspur's. They're terrific stadiums. They always sell out in like 30 seconds. London, I would imagine, is pretty easy to get to from most places in the world. So I would think that might be kind of the first one, but I don't think it'll be for some time.
Yeah.
But it had to be, but other than that, man, I think Prince, not just because I'm a Prince fan. I think it was the best.
Well, no, I'm completely biased. Of course, Prince is the best. So yes, nobody's going to touch that show. But but I mean, as far as missing the mark, it was again, it's entertainment, it's music. You may not like it. I can understand that.
You may not like it,
but I think if you just kind of shut down, not understanding the language, but just the visceral experience of seeing a show and music, it wasn't. I mean, I thought it was pretty good.
Mm-hmm. All right, let's get to the next question. I think it was a good question by Luke. Go ahead.
All right, so will the Chiefs embrace the league's return to a dominant run game and elite defense? Where I was looking on this is, again, it goes back to this NFC AFC piece to some degree, but it seems like the league has been very cyclical. When the Chiefs had kind of like the flying circus with Tyreek and Travis, they could not be stopped. It was like this Star Wars offense, if you would. And all the high schools playing this, spread offense and read option and RPOs and everything else. And I think defensive coaches start saying, hey, let's just get some big guys and beat these guys up a little bit. Mm-hmm. So that's what are the Chiefs going to go that way? Or are they going to continue to zag and stay with their kind of quarterback centric, wide receiver centric, pass centric offense?
Go ahead, Nick.
I think bringing Eric Bieniemy back does lead me to the belief that Andy is going to be more convinced to embrace the run game. Whether we'll discuss about your man crush, Jeremiyah Love. I think this is the way. I think these are the two things the Chiefs must embrace. I mean, I love Steve Spagnuolo. I don't think he particularly played some of the guys that needed to play. He wasn't as creative this year. He wasn't as aggressive as we've seen him in the past. Maybe that was just because he didn't believe in the talent, or maybe he didn't think some of these guys were ready. Maybe he thought, who knows what he thought. But as we saw Sunday, that's the kind of defense the Chiefs need to have to compete in a division that's going to have some pretty good defenses. I mean, Denver is good. The Chargers have shown flashes of being a good defense. The Raiders, without Max Crosby, if it's true that he told Tom Brady he wants out, or he'll retire first if he's not traded, remains to be seen. But this is a good draft and a good class of free agents if the Chiefs want to be aggressive. But to me, it's got to be the running back. They got to find a running back. I think Breece Hall makes the most sense. I think yesterday's MVP makes a lot of sense, but I'm not sure that Kenneth Walker's not going to get out of Seattle, I don't think. But I think they have to return to a dominant run game. They have to go back. A great quote, I hope I get the experience of football on this stage. Everything on the line, I'll get there one day. I know it. He's got a pretty good chance if he turns that green into red and the Chiefs pay him a lot of green to join the Chiefs. But Harold, I mean, where does this team go at running back? I mean, I know you mentioned Pierce as an option, but he still is unsigned. And after that, I don't know what they're going to do, because I don't think Love's going to be there at 9.
Well, you got to be running back by committee. And if Love's there, it's enticing. I mean, don't get me wrong, it is enticing. I just think they have so much work to do on the defensive side of the ball that they've really got to embrace that. Now, we mentioned franchise tag. That comes up soon. I mean, all the guys that are franchise tag, I mean, you got Leo Chanel, Brian Cook at your options there. I could see one of those two being on the tag maybe, depending upon the financials and how that works out, because they need somebody there in the secondary and Cook. And
right.
Cook would be the veteran there. But they definitely need to bolster that defensive line. And I just think that's just where they need to go. Now, I could be wrong, but I just think that's where they need to go. But the run game is, and the league still values passing. Don't get me wrong. They just don't value like the Chiefs are kind of their own enemy in this case. They're at their own fault, because when they had the explosive offense of 18 to 20 and all that going on, defense, they had to figure things out. And now they've figured that out. So it's just kind of a circle of life right now where they've evolved to, oh, we figured it out by ball control offense, get some good elite defense there, get some secondary players with size so we can go man and get some monsters at the defensive line. And they figured that out, and that figured out the Chiefs. Now, that's not saying the Chiefs can just switch it over. We saw this impact in 22 when they realized they're going to need an elite defense, so they spent 8 of their 10 draft picks on defense and hit on like 5, 6 of them too. So that really helped. They're going to need another one of those drafts. They're going to have to hit again. Like if we look at Seattle, their past couple drafts, they hit on offensive line talent. They got an undrafted kid out of Maryville, Missouri. That's their starting center. They got a kid from North Dakota State who was the teammate of the kid from Maryville at North Dakota State. That bolstered their offensive line. Yeah. And then look at when you get undrafted players that produce and are developed, then you can really attack on the defensive line and get a great safety like Eamon Warrior, a linebacker like Eamon Warrior, and get some dudes on the defensive line to go along with some of the veterans they already had. So part of it's luck of the draw, but when it comes to the Chiefs coming to a dominant run game, I think that just goes with Eric Bieniemy being there and having those Ben Johnson schemes. That's where it's really going to be a big value to them with the run game, regardless of the personnel they have. I mean, we talk about Isaiah Pacheco a lot, and we don't know his future with the team. We assume it may not be with the team. But I also know that his best years were with Eric Bieniemy. And I look back at video a lot of Pacheco with Bieniemy, and it was very much like father figure, and he can grasp the best out of him. Now, we don't know if Pacheco's body can withstand it, but we know he can get the best out of somebody. Right. And if you give him like a Breece Hall, Dameon Pierce type backfield where you can do it a little bit by committee, which is what Andy Reid's always wanted. He's always said you need 3 running backs. You need 3 running backs. You get those 3, then you pair that with Bieniemy's discipline of the run game schemes, then you have something going. So I think that's what they're shooting for. I think they're shooting for a running game that is honest and balanced because, again, when he said teams did not respect the play action pass, they did not respect the RPO part of it. When he kept saying that over and over again, you quickly realize that if the linebackers are not biting and they're staying in pass coverage, there goes your run game. That your run game's dead on arrival. It has nothing to do with who's back there. It's just they don't respect the run game. Yeah. So you have to give them a reason to at least respect the run game. That doesn't necessarily have to mean an elite talent. That means somebody who can get you 6-8 yards on first down instead of 2-3, or just not running it at all on first down. That's where the respect comes in. And that's the biggest change they really have to make offensively because they have to have somebody that respects the run. That's an immense change that they have to solve immediately.
So if they have that much confidence in EB's ability to be,
I think so. I think Andy Reid has the confidence in EB to bring back that ability of a run game. Yes.
You look at what he did with 1 7th-round Rutgers running back, and then he does it again with the 7th-round Rutgers running back. Yeah. Now, my guys are totally. And
Swift had a resurgence in Bears too. So yeah.
Exactly. Now a little bit different than Pacheco, but I think he's got a little bit more wiggle, a little bit better vision, but he worked with it. So my thinking is they may not value running back at 9, even if Love is there. They said we can get a guy later because whether it's Dylan McCullough, EB, or 2 of them together, we can get a lot out of a 3rd or 4th round guy. We've got Brashard Smith. Maybe we bring back Kareem to be the short yardage guy because that was one positive that came out of last year's offense was they kind of figured that part out. So maybe they don't have to go to, and again, maybe that's false thinking for them. They wait for a running back, 7th rounders, the last couple that they took. But I think that could be it. That could exactly what they're thinking is we don't have to put that much draft capital into the running back, nor do we have to pay top dollar to a Breece Hall or Kenneth Walker III.
I think if you got Hall, Pierce, and our boy last year from 7th round, Brashard Smith, that's a pretty good trio. I can make that work if I'm an offensive coordinator. Well, that gives you a lot of versatility. That gives you guys who have NFL experience and a young guy to come in and get his opportunity as well.
I agree with like the answer to the question. You know, I think they needed to return to that dominance, you know, like run game when they had with Kareem Hunt. You know, like when they had with you know, Jamal Charles or those type of running backs, and you know and being more dominant up front when the passing game is with the defense as well. But looking at, you know, last night's game, that made me more recognize it more that, you know, these guys need to get a running back because there ain't no running back won MVP since 1998. Yeah, and you got, you know, you got him come out here and do it. And you see how he was out there being patient in the backfield, looking for the holes. And it reminds me of the, you know, one guy I've been rooting for this whole time that I've been seeing doing in Notre Dame is Jeremiyah Love.
Yeah, whatever. Oh, that was the bell reincarnated.
But if they can get a guy like this, and you know and bring him in here with Patrick Mahomes, because we all thinking that Patrick Mahomes is going to rehab. We know we've seen him at the Super Bowl without crutches and everything else, but looking at the injury and everything else, nobody's going to if the Romo said it best. If whoever's going to play two high safety, whoever plays that two high safety, you need to run the ball. And New England didn't do that as well. You know what I mean? Even though they had the talent back there to do it, they just stuck in their offense scheme for so long throughout the game that it killed them the whole game. If you got a running back like Walker or, Love or, a Hall, I just don't see the Chiefs paying that much money for, Hall to come over here to be with, putting out that.
I don't think he's going to be a big price tag. I think he's going to be a super. I don't think he's going to be a super.
I think he's worth the future draft picks.
What's that?
I think he's worth the future draft picks.
And they probably franchise tag him,
especially with the news now that they might extend from trades. You might be able to do more than 3 future draft picks. You might be able to go to 5. With that being a possibility, I could totally see that happening. I mean,
if they tag him, you got to remember he begged to come to the Chiefs. His agent talked to Veach. He and her tried to work out an extension if the deal was going to get done, and the Jets just were asking too big a price tag, or else he would have been a Chief, and I think they would have come to terms on a long-term deal. So I think if the player wants the team as bad as I'm hearing he wants to come play for Kansas City, then the contract will sort itself through. But again, I guess my biggest issue with Andy Reid and this change of, sort of change of the philosophy and going back to the running game, look at the success they had with a Jamal Charles type running back. Why wouldn't he want to duplicate that with a quarterback like Patrick Mahomes? That offense with Alex Smith and Jamal Charles and Dwayne Bowe and younger Travis Kelce was pretty solid, but Jamal Charles was the go guy. Yeah. Why don't they want another go guy?
Well, they got him in the 3rd round. So I don't think it's about the type of talent that they want in the backfield. It's what they're willing to pay to get it.
Well,
and if it doesn't seem like at least the way Veach has been building the team, that is a high value position. Now, maybe their opinion of that changes here because of what happened these last couple of years. But they were able, again, it just goes back to Veach, the pre-draft, before that draft. Because we even see some good running backs in the 7th, down to the 7th round. And lo and behold, they take Pacheco in the 7th round.
Lou, if he come out and say that this draft,
they win a couple Super Bowls, and it's like, well, hey, we can do it with those guys. Why should we pay up? I'm not saying that's right. I'm saying that I don't think they value it to the point where, okay, so the next couple of weeks, the franchise tag window opens. So we'll see what the Jets do. Maybe they put the tag on Breece Hall. I don't know.
He would not like that, but yeah.
No, he would not. But that gives them a little leverage to maybe do a sign and trade. They get something out of him rather than just let him walk.
Yeah, I don't think spiteful enough to do it.
I don't think the Chiefs want to. Again, pay up in terms of draft capital, and then on top of that, pay up in salary. So I'd love to have him too. I'd love to have any talented back. So, but I think in their minds, they're looking at it as, hey, we can find a guy in the 2nd, 3rd, 4th round, and these guys will coach him up, and he'll be just effective enough. And that's really all they need is that threat. as you were saying, in terms of, you know, the way the defenses are playing. As long as the guy's a threat, doesn't have to be a 1,500 yard a year rusher, doesn't have to be a 1,200 yard. Hey, if he's like a 900 yard rusher, but he puts that fear in him and can catch some passes out of the backfield, I think they're totally fine with that.
Mm-hmm. So what Walker was doing last night, you know, I mean, I think everybody in the kingdom finally seen what Hense been saying about Love. I think everybody in the kingdom finally opened their eyes and said,
you do a different kind of algebra than I was ever taught. How does Walker's success equate to Chiefs taking Jeremiyah Love? I don't. There's some missing variables in there.
Well, what I'm saying, Lou, is that what you see it out of the running back, you know, because he was killing them. You know, he was eating them alive.
I watched the game. He was the MVP, I hear.
Yeah, he looked like Emmett. You know, what was his name? Emmett used to play for the Cowboys. What's his name?
Emmett Smith.
Emmett Smith. That's what it looked like to me. Like he was carving up like Emmett Smith did back in the
faster.
day.
He bounced. He got a lot of yards from the outside, which, you know, nobody really saw coming because New England was so good at shutting down the run, and all of a sudden they weren't. But no, I hear what you're saying. Yeah, if they had a talent like that, now does it? Jeremiyah Love probably is a little bit more of a talented prospect, a little higher rated prospect coming out than Walker was. But Walker's already proven it in the NFL. Jeremiyah Love probably will. I just don't know if the Chiefs see, like, all of a sudden one of those edge rushers they like is staring them in the face, and you're looking at this team thinking, we got to get to these quarterbacks. I don't know how they pass them up. I really don't.
Right. You know, so if that pass rusher is sitting there, which one are you thinking about getting, Luke? If a guy is sitting there, like if Love look to one of the pass, because we seen, you know, you're gonna need both. Looking at that Super Bowl.
Oh, absolutely. No, that's what I'm saying. You need a lot. I mean, it's not just, hey, we get this running back and we're set, we're ready for action. It helps, sure. It kind of plugs one thing, but then what are we doing, you know, defensive? What are we doing to rush the passer without having to bring pressure all the time? And that's what I think Spags is running into, is I can't bring pressure every down. They're going to carve us up eventually, right? I mean, it's just, this is the NFL. Eventually they'll stop them once and bang, 6 points, and now, you know, you're behind again. So I like Ruben Bain a lot. I like Bailey a lot. Bain seems to be the more of the body type that the Chiefs have gone after lately. Bailey's a little bit different. He's more that guy on the outside, a little spindlier, a little bit quicker, a lot more speed. So they haven't drafted that lately, but maybe this is the first time they've had the opportunity to get a guy like that, because they're always drafting in the 20s and 30s.
Right.
So if one of those, now again, edge rushers go fast. I find it hard to believe that any of those guys are going to be available when the Chiefs pick. So don't be shocked if Mekhi Lemon falls in their lap and the other two receivers, Tate and Tyson are gone, and Mekhi Lemon is a Chief, just because that could be like an Amon-Ra St. Brown there with a little bit more speed.
Yeah.
So let's get out this closeout, because go ahead and read it for Luke.
All right. So here's the calendar, kind of off season. I was talking about the franchise tag coming up here, just actually a week away, where it opens up. They get 2 weeks. I think Harold mentioned some. I don't know what the linebacker tag is, but I really like that for Leo. But that's another story. And then the 23rd through the 2nd, you've got the combine. 9th through the 11th, the negotiating period, or legal tampering. I guess it's kind of an oxymoron, but you can start negotiating with free agents, and then starting 4 p.m. Eastern on the 11th, you can start signing these guys, and then the draft in April. So it's gonna come fast, and we're gonna be ready for it here on Chiefs Blitz podcast.
So what do y'all think about the Super Bowl logo? Nick, you got to unmute yourself. What do you think about the Super Bowl logo?
I think he sounds better that way. I don't know.
Sorry.
There you go.
There you go. I think I like it. I liked it better than this last one. That's for sure. It's going to be in Los Angeles, so 2 straight Super Bowls in the state of California.
ESPN, baby. First one ever.
ESPN/ABC.
Boy, they're making a big deal of it today. It's handoff day. I know.
Yeah, exactly. So we'll see how that unfolds. But I think SoFi is a terrific place. I got a good chance to get tickets for this game. Because it's in the right location for me, with some friends that I know that have tickets. So I'm excited about the opportunity to hopefully see the Chiefs in the next Super Bowl. But hey, again, I think we all need to appreciate what we've been through, what we've seen, what we've witnessed since 2019-20, since Patrick Mahomes came here. A lot of interesting stories are going to take place. I think the Chiefs are going to have a lot of big decisions to make, but I hope that they're all on the same page, Harold. I hope they're all like going, okay, we know this didn't work. We got to do this.
Yeah.
They made enough changes in the coaching staff that make me believe, like Andy's going to say, okay, well, maybe some of my ideas weren't great. I'm still the CEO, but let's see what Chad O'Shea can do with some of the young wide receivers. Let's see what Eric can do to fix the running game. And then, I don't know who's coming in to be the quarterback coach at this point to kind of help Patrick adjust to coming off double knee surgery and maybe improving his footwork a little bit. So I think there's some things I feel a little bit better about than I did when the season ended.
Well, I mean, Patrick, he's totally fine, right? We saw him walking around the Sports Illustrated party, right? So he's good.
Crazy.
He's all it takes, man.
It's fine.
He's ready.
Yeah, he's ready. No, I mean, there will be some.
World.
I mean, and honestly, that's why the run game is so important, because you gotta give that man some off plays. Like, he's got to have some plays where he's comfortable that the offense will get 4, 5, 6 yards. Simply just go in a set hut, hand the ball off, let them do their business. They got to give him some off plays. He cannot. He got too much into a rhythm of thinking that he had to do everything last year, and they got to knock him out of that rhythm.
Yeah, Josh Allen. Same thing, Josh Allen.
Yeah, because the thing is, you can't do that, sustain that, and then you get to January, and you try to do it again. And I mean, you saw him do it over and over and over again. And finally, it just came too much.
Yeah,
right. And I think that's had a lot to do with his injury, because he's just doing too much. That's why he got injured. He got hurt. I mean, he kept getting hit because he's putting his body out there on the line. So they've really got to really hunker down into. And I mean, Chad O'Shea. And I mean, Nick, you might have been mentioning this, but I mean, I think that's their best pickup. They have an adult. They have adults in the room now, and I mean, they do. They have
biggest need on the staff.
Yeah, they had adults, like hire adults, and then like if I was telling actually I was saying this, I saw Nate Taylor of The Athletic the other day, and I was telling him, or not the ESPN now, but formerly of The Athletic, but I was telling him the other day, is like, I'm going to start laughing my butt off if this team just really needed accountability. But I'm listening to and that was really all he needed. If that was simply it, then I'm like, wow, that's saying a lot about a lot of people there. But
yeah,
I'm listening to what Trey Smith says on Super Bowl Radio Row, and he kept mentioning the word accountability a lot.
Hey, the players have the message down. They're delivering, every one of them delivering it exactly the same way.
Yeah. He also, I mean, the message is that, I mean, next year might as well be the accountability era. Like, I mean, that's, I mean, it might as well just be like, like last year was like the form, this is the formula and all this, like this, like the might as well just, accountability might as well just be in a huge platform.
That's gonna be the break the huddle word.
Yeah, accountability, ready to go. Like
no. What about you? Like, you remember like they like some teams have like the turnover chain, or like an axe or something. They get a turnover on the sideline and they give them that. Yeah. And the Chiefs just going to have like a big ass belt.
Yeah. Just accountability.
And you got to watch that B2A, man.
Right. And that's a checklist for everything you did today. Like,
that's going to make them play better.
Geez. Like,
is there any whispers? Because I'm sure anybody that's watching this O-line has brought this up. I mean, obviously you see what's happening in Philadelphia. Jeff Stoutland walking away from the organization, and evidently there was some friction there with Sirianni and the offensive coordinator and whatever. He's been almost sainted as an offensive line coach. I mean, Dante Scarnecchia, but maybe in a different style. Has anybody even uttered his name that you know of at One Arrowhead Drive? Is that something that
who again?
Jeff Stoutland? He's the
offensive line coach. No, I think they like Andy Heck. I think they like Andy Heck where he is, but I mean,
so there's no surprise retirement coming from Andy Heck.
I mean, well, if there was a surprise retirement, then I feel like Jeff Stoutland would be called number one. But
I think it would be the other way around.
Well, that's it. But yeah,
Stoutland says yes, and then the surprise.
No, I think they like Andy Heck.
The surprise retirement.
I mean, sometimes I wonder why, but.
I would make that trade in a heartbeat. In fact, I will drive him from Philadelphia to Kansas City.
Well, I think it kind of goes along with the whole accountability thing. Now, I'm not saying that Andy Heck isn't holding them accountable, but to me, again, I'm 1,500 miles away, whatever the hell it is. He just doesn't come off as like a fiery personality, like somebody that's an offensive line coach that is just kind of like Jeff Stoutland, I mean, he's just like a big dude. He's got his own university. Come on. So just kind of again, another belt to ass guy that is going to hold them accountable. I mean, that to me feels like that would be on brand for the changes they're making. So let's make it happen, Harold. Can you start it? So just start the rumor.
Get Jeff Stoutland going.
Yeah.
Nate Taylor would be a great place to start. He can fuel some of that.
I'll text him. I'll give him a shout. We'll do it right after I get off of this. Actually, I'll just do it now.
Come on.
No, but send him a text right now and say, "Hey, make this." If he doesn't write the article, I'm going to write it tomorrow.
Yeah, exactly.
Blitz.com.
Yeah, but I mean, like, again, Stoutland's 63 or 4. Like, he's 2 years younger than Andy.
That guy's got like 20 times more energy.
Yeah, I mean, he does. But I mean, like, you'll be honest. Like, if you're there with Nick Sirianni, and you're 20 years older than the guy, and he's running around with a security guy having arguments back and forth, like that can take years off your life right there.
Damn right. You can hang out with the Sunshine Boys with Coach Reed and Spagnuolo and Tobe. They're all
that's true.
They all hang out together.
I think Eric Bieniemy's a young 52 or 3, so it's like
Maybe we can get Jason Kelsey to make that one of the conditions that Travis says to come back for a year.
Problem with Jason is he's getting paid way too much by his employer right now to leave anything right now. So
no,
he doesn't have to leave. He could just make it happen.
He's just a volunteer coach.
He could be the front man to get Stout in here, man. Come on.
Oh, you want Jason to give Jeff a call? Okay.
Yeah.
Give Jeff a call. Call Coach Reed. Get them all on a conference call. Let's make this thing happen.
Yeah,
I mean, but you guys are living in an ideal world.
They don't have an assistant offensive line coach at the moment, right? Didn't they dispose of that position?
Yeah.
But I think Big Dom is going to coach the offensive line.
Yeah.
But they already got a guy for the Packers. So.
But Andy Heck, he did get Kareem Humphrey and Trey Smith to the Pro Bowl.
Yeah, but they were self-starters.
I'm just saying he got the best out of those two. Jawan Taylor started to turn it around a little bit at the back end of it before he got hurt.
Somebody had to cut some help. That's why.
Yeah.
And then somebody had to just finally get with him and be like, "Hey, buddy, like today." And then, but Kingsley, I think Kingsley's a good thing. They had a bad fit for him the first time, trying to put him at tackle, but guard fit in seamlessly.
Yeah,
and I mean, Josh Simmons, I think that's a self-starter as long as he's healthy. So
maybe Andy's personality fits in with.
Good.
Eric will have a lot to do with it too. Eric's going to get in the face.
Younger left side of the offense.
Well, there's good cop, bad cop too. So
yeah, I think Eric will handle the offensive line if they're not blocking right.
Yeah. Do you see Jawan Taylor? Speaking of the free agency on the 17th, do you see Jawan Taylor getting a surprise cut? You know what I mean, to save.
That'd be a surprise.
Like, do you see him getting cut? Or do you not see him here next year?
I think it's almost an assumption. It's almost a presumption, really. But
yeah, can we get Spotrac? Can we what are the cap ramifications?
It's $20 million.
20.
Well, what's the dead money versus? I mean, there's cash and then there's cap. So
dead's like 12. But
And they could probably live with that because they typically don't push a lot forward. So
I think they've developed enough depth that I think they're confident, especially with the whole injury situation. I think they're confident with what they have. They can move forward.
Yeah. So. Outside of Taylor, you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Taylor goes, one of those younger guys steps in, whether so
they definitely go.
We'll see. And maybe that's where Stoutland would come in and get that particular youngster playing up to snuff. But like Nick said, a ton of big decisions to be made. Most of it is going to center around the cap for now because they obviously, even though it looks like the numbers going way up.
They got to figure it out, and then they're not.
Chiefs are still over,
and they're not losing all of Travis. So because it looks like he's coming back.
He's coming back, 100%.
Yeah, I don't want that.
I
know you guys do. I
think they want that.
They want that. They want that accountability.
It depends on. It depends on the. It really depends on the number. I mean, that's really.
It ain't gonna be. It ain't gonna be as much as people think.
At the end of the day, right? I mean, that's just it. I'm all for if he agrees to like a very comfortable number that's like less than he's worth. My goodness, yeah, of course. But I just don't see why he would do it then.
I think you're going to see. I think you're going to see Travis Kelce and Isaiah Likely, the 1-2 tight ends in this offense next year. That's what I think.
Isaiah Likely, huh?
I think. Again, another birdie told me he has a high interest in coming to Kansas City.
That would be akin to get like a cheaper Kyle Pitts,
right?
Because you're not going to. I mean, he's not going to be a ton of inline blocking from either of those guys.
Right.
You're not going to pay top dollar for Pitts. But likely, I think, is athletic enough and has enough wiggle and speed that he could do that part of the job. Probably, I mean, God spite me right here, but he might be able to do it better than Noah Gray.
Yeah, I think Noah's gone.
Not gone. Come on, Nick.
Gone. Sorry.
So with that said, guys, we'll see you guys Wednesday with Lou's Red Dot player. We're gonna have talk about that, and we will talk more about the free agency, salary caps and stuff like that, because that's gonna be coming up here very soon.
We'll see if any franchise tags take place. A week. Well, that's next week. Yeah,
week 17th.
A week from Wednesday. Sorry,
8 days.
Yep.
So with that said, guys, thank you, Harold, for coming on, and thank everybody for joining in on this Monday.
Yes, sir.
Always go Chiefs.
Peace out, everybody.
All right.
Loyal to the team, every victory we slay. Chiefs Blitz podcast where the real fans unite. Every touchdown score, we ignite the night. From tailgate chatter to post-game debate, we love our Chiefs, yeah, it's never too late.